Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. What a great honor to have Ron Overs with us today here at the Roundtable. Ron and I see so much. Ron is the publisher of Fixed Ops Magazine. And Ron, you and I get to welcome a new member to the community today.
This is great, Ted. I think we're calling it the year AI transformed fixed operations. And what a great group here to have Dave Perry and Ashleigh Norton to tell us about their great company.
Yep, we want to welcome Blink AI. Ashleigh is known to the Roundtable community. Dave, first time on the Roundtable. Welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ted and Ron. It's great to be here. Certainly well aware of what the Fixed Ops Roundtable means to dealerships in general, but specifically to the Fixed Ops arena, and we're really excited to be a part of it this next year.
Well, Dave, congratulations to you and again to Ashleigh as well. Tell us a little more, if you don't mind, for our audience. Tell us about Blink AI and its mission.
Yeah, sure. Sure, Ted. Blink AI, I mean, we're obviously an AI company, but we're singularly focused on customer engagement across a dealership. We have that focused on fixed ops because we see that where many problems that we address kind of reside, but we're not restricted to the fixed ops arena. We're working really ultimately across the dealership to make it, more addressable to the customer's needs as they, work through the life cycle of being a customer of a dealership. And so what we try to do is automate engagements using our AI platform. In this day and age where people are looking for instant gratification and have lots of tools where you're ordering food or ordering a car or whatever, that engagement kind of goes on in a digital world. And so we've looked at all these different engagements that exist between dealerships and their customers, and we've tried to apply smart, engagement processes there that gives the customer the sense that the dealer really cares about my problem and they're going to address it. And we are able to do that 24/7 at scale. So that's ultimately what we do, but there's a lot of benefits that get derived by both the customer and the dealer downstream.
And Ashleigh, as Ron said, this is an exciting year for fixed operations. And congratulations to you and all that's ahead at marketing at Blink AI.
Thank you, Ted. I'm very excited to have joined an incredible team here at Blink. We have a team of true innovators, and they understand what the industry needs. And it's going to be a big year for Blink AI.
Super. Dave, give us a little more color. Tell us about AI's role in fixed ops. Ron mentioned that earlier, but how do you see it?
Well, there's so many applicable areas for AI. The first, I think that, originally AI made its big impact on the dealership with conversational AI. There was a number of agents that would interact with customers over the telephone, and not all of them were fully successful. There was plenty of stories about selling cars for $1 and some things like that, but that's typical of any, early stage, that kind of bleeding edge of technology. But AI can engage with customers in many different ways in terms of being able to predict things like when the customer would like to come in, to visit the dealership. So it helps you a lot in the scheduling arena for customers and times that they want to reach out. The kinds of, even when someone's trying to contact a dealer to make an appointment to bring their vehicle in, they may have 4 or 5 vehicles. And so we can use AI to be very predictive about which vehicle it is that's coming in so that we lessen the number of steps that customers have to go through the process of, doing simple things like getting an appointment. And so we make the whole experience better for the customer, making customer sat higher, which hopefully then makes customer retention for the dealership higher.
Ron, I see a lot in Fixed Ops Magazine as well about dealers finding efficiencies this year in 2025. That seems to be one of the dominant motivators. Ron, your thoughts?
You're absolutely right, Ted. We're seeing so many companies, everyone looking at it and saying, how do I really enhance the customer experience? How do I make that customer experience we find a tool that makes it easier for us, but a tool that makes it easier for the customer, and therefore the customer, has much better CSI scores, and also at the same time, it really is efficient for the store. We talked about contacting the customer before the customer calls you in the first place. So cut down the number of phone calls coming in by reaching out to them before they even call. So Blink AI's got some great products like that really make a lot of sense.
And Ashley, the technology behind Blink is really game changing from what I'm hearing.
Yes, absolutely. The technology starting with the web scheduler, like Dave said, reducing the number of steps that a customer has to take to get their appointment. I think we set it and forget it a lot on the website, and we encourage any dealer we talk to audit their website process. Go try to schedule an appointment. I did it on a Nissan site yesterday, and I had to tell the dealership what type of oil I need. I don't know what type of oil that I need. I had to tell the dealership my trim level. Like, I bought that car 5 years ago. I have no idea what my trim level is. So just reducing the number of steps that a customer has to take reduces the number of phone calls because we're forcing customers to have to call in to the store anyway, right? And we're creating all of this noise and chaos that we really can eliminate by just simplifying the web scheduling process. And then, of course, if they do call in for any issue, some people just prefer to call. We have the AI agents right there. And of course, you're going to have complex conversations that do need to get transferred. So you have to have an intelligent way of transferring the calls. And then, like Ron mentioned, having we have a service marketing engine. Any campaign you want to run, we can run that campaign through automation, backed by AI, through SMS and email. So there's a lot going on in the background that I think is what we're looking to expose to dealers this year.
Dave, this has come such a long way. I know Ron and I can remember back 5, 6, 7 years ago when dealers didn't even have anything for fixed operations on their website. There was nothing about service or scheduling an appointment. And Dave, it's really fixed ops has really come to the forefront.
Well, I think it's advanced a lot over the last few years, as you pointed out, Ted. But what gets me excited is thinking about what's next. There's so many more things that you can do once you've established a clear channel of communication with your customer, one based on trust, and being able to do quick service for them. There's a generational change that's going on in automobile ownership. People are looking much more at subscription-based everything, right? So not only do I might not even want to buy a car, I certainly don't want to service a car unless I have to. And so to make all those steps in ownership so much easier, it's just going to embrace that next generation of folks that are growing their families and learning what the flexibility of car ownership has versus just driving Ubers around all over the place.
So, Dave, will Blink actually help improve the customer experience for dealership and service centers alike?
Oh, absolutely. And but it improves it on both sides of the house, right? So more and more, and one of the great things that we've built into our platform is lots of statistics that show when people are booking appointments and what method that they like to book the appointments. One of the things that it interests me is that a lot of the first calls that we get from dealers is complaints about my phones are ringing too much. I need a phone-based system to handle the phone calls. And the dirty secret is that the problem is way upstream from that. The reason they're calling the dealership is because they didn't have a good digital experience with you. And so by having that scheduler on not only your website, but on the social media platforms and other places, now you're capturing those appointments, getting those people set to come in to visit your dealership at a convenient time for them, but also convenient for the dealer. If they don't have, if it's not easy to make an appointment, they're just going to show up at the dealership in the morning. And now you've got this mad rush for resources, which makes everybody dissatisfied. So at the end of the day, it makes the customer much happier, but then it smooths out that day of operations for the dealership. And as Ashleigh pointed out earlier, for, once we've captured all the inbound calls, we can do outbound campaigns that drives additional people in to basically fill out the whole capacity of the dealership. So the dealership operates much more efficiently.
Ron, it's important that dealers have partners like this because we tend to want to overcomplicate it. And if technology can find a way to make it frictionless and easier for the customer, it's a huge win, Ron.
That is so true. I mean, so many people try to adopt 4 or 5 different companies to do things that this one company can do and help them. So the beauty of working with someone like AI, it's a trustworthy company that you can use for more than one facet of your business.
Ashleigh, this technology, any technology is only as good as adoption. Is this easy to implement? And what kind of training or support is Blink offering to help provide success for the dealer community?
Yeah, just in my short time here, I dived in with listening to some of our kickoff calls and onboarding calls. We have a powerhouse of a customer success team. The director of our customer success was a service director herself. So she understands the needs and the gaps that we need to fill in order to successfully implement Blink AI on the web, on the phone. She understands how to recommend the right campaigns that are going to fill out the capacities. And so she leads a team here that is incredible at launching and onboarding and keeping our dealers engaged.
Dave and Ashleigh, I'll ask both of you. Are there any standout success stories or milestones you'd like to share about Blink and how it impacts the industry?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that we do for our dealerships when we bring them on board, Ted, is we look at what was before, kind of the before picture. How many appointments were you doing? How did that convert to ROs? How did those ROs aggregate in terms of total, revenue and profits to the dealership? And one of the proudest things for me as the CEO of the company is to show, that impact kind of before and after. And a lot of AI systems, they take a long time to basically be trained. So you may not see the benefit of them for, 6 months or longer. That's not the case with Blink AI. When we go on board at automobile dealerships, we see that impact immediately. And so like month 1, you're seeing a pretty dramatic uptake of new appointments. And then shortly after that, the number of ROs and the value of those ROs. An interesting point I'd like to make is that when you give the customer time, if you book them in at a specific time, you engage with them when they arrive, you can get them in and out quickly, then they're much, much more likely to be able to take advantage of upsell services as well. So the value of ROs for our dealerships goes up even above the number of just pure quantity of ROs that get created there. So the impact on the dealerships it gets us excited, gets our entire team excited. Ashleigh pointed out we have a great customer success team that works with customers day in and day out, but basically with the mission to help optimize their department there, make their customers happier and make their operations perform much more smoothly.
Ron, our friend Tully Williams says it's all about the hours, and
Right.
Customers also tell us it's about the time saved. Time seems to be the most important at the top of the list. And Ron, it would seem to me that this is the year in saving the customer some time as well.
Oh, for sure. People don't have time, right? We're all busy people. And, when you think of all the other industries that affect our lives, right? I think I mentioned one time about, a dental appointment. How does that work? Well, they sent me a text message and said, Ron, you're due for a whatever. And does this time or this time work better for you? And, I didn't call the dentist. He called me. They have their own little program that know, exactly when I need to be in there. And, that's what's going on today. And then you realize that your time isn't going to be wasted. You've made your appointment that quickly, using SMS, and next thing you know, you're on your way, and you haven't wasted time going through phone trees and talking to people, trying to get to the right person to make an appointment. It's a big difference.
Yeah, speaking of time, another one of our kind of bells and whistles is our service score feature, where we are proactively reaching out as soon as that RO is closed to the customer, asking them, what their experience was, so that we can alert the dealer of any sort of anything less than a 4 alerts the dealer, so that they can get ahead of their CSI scores. And a lot of what I've seen in response to that is around time. If it's anything lower than a 3, it's almost always, I spent way too long just trying to get an oil change. They'll say nice things about the people, and people are great and people are nice, but I don't want to sit at the dealership for 2.5 hours waiting for an oil change.
Yeah, that's a good point, Ashley. And we also combine that with our sales lead program as well, because if you think, you've got somebody that's going to show up at the dealership at a particular day and time, probably going to spend an hour or maybe 2 there at the dealership waiting for their car. What a perfect time to introduce them to the new models. And so since, again, using AI, we know how long they've owned their car, maybe how much equity they've got in their car, what the mileage is, what the service history is. It's a really good opportunity to drive a new car sales lead into the dealership and potentially create an opportunity to get another used vehicle into the shop as well for sale through that department. So we're looking at all the engagements that happen across the dealership and find ways to automate those. And I would say to you that automation isn't an option any longer. It's absolutely mandatory going forward.
Dave and Ashleigh, Blink is up and running. You're in many dealerships now. I know you have a lot of innovations or features that are coming. I don't know, Dave, if you can speak to any of that today or give us a little peek behind the curtain of what you got coming. I know you're going to show us a lot at NADA,
Right.
but any of that you could speak to today, Dave?
Well, we got a very exciting roadmap, I would say, Ted, and I don't want to get ahead of ourselves too far here, but I would say that, cars are getting smarter. They've been getting smarter for quite a while. Cars can tell you a lot about, what's happening with the vehicle, but also what the customer experience is as well. And so I'll just say that I think telematics is going to be a huge impact, the ability to drive customers into the dealership. Again, well in advance of them knowing they've got a problem and calling the dealership. So if you're waiting for the customer to call you to let you know they got a problem, then you're behind the game already. And so we'll be working feverishly to come up with some really innovative things in that area.
All right. I understand you're going to be at NADA. Ashleigh, tell us about that. You've been working hard to put all this together for our audience that's going to be in New Orleans later this week. I see a booth number at the bottom, 8945. What do you have in store for us there?
Yeah, so we have a lot, actually. We've put together kind of a little Blink experience. So come by the booth. You can play a game of Blinko or Plinko. You can register for a chance to win Formula One racing tickets. And obviously see a live demo, a custom demo, custom to your store. So we're very excited. It's kind of our coming out party at NADA in New Orleans. So if you go to that link at the bottom, you can also pick a time to come by the booth and have your own time registered.
And Dave, if I may, as a closing question that I want to ask, how do you envision the future of fixed operations looking out over the horizon this year and beyond? What role are the solutions that Blink has or will have play in the future or in shaping that future?
Sure. Well, being that I live, 24 hours a day thinking about this and working towards this has become a bit of a mission for me personally, but I know certainly the rest of my team. We know there's a lot of issues facing automobile retailing going forward, technology wise, business model wise, the like, but we know that there's a huge audience of people out there that are looking for how that next generation of transportation is going to work across the board, and we want to be an integral part of it. And we think that engagement with the customer is absolutely critical to that. It's hard to have customer retention without positive customer engagement, and so that's going to be the focus of ourselves. I mean, it's this isn't your grandfather's dealership anymore. This is for the current generation, the next generation. As I know, when I was turned 16, I had to go buy a car immediately. And now I see, my kids and my friends' kids, and when they turn 16, you don't see that level of enthusiasm anymore. They think of transportation being a little bit different than the freedom that cars represented to us. Now the freedom is represented in a digital device that they carry around in their pocket. And so we've got to marry those two together. We've got to make sure that we preserve this industry. We preserve, the ability to go anywhere, anytime in your vehicle, the status and comfort that you get from driving around. And we need to make that experience in the car equal to, the experience that you have with the dealership equal to the experience that you have in the car as well. And so we're super excited about where this is going, but I wish if I knew exactly where it was going, I should probably write a book about it.
Ron, exciting times to be in our industry, and with all that's happening, Ron. And I know you and I get a chance to see a lot of this, but Blink is really on the forefront.
You're absolutely right. You absolutely have to have this technology today. If you don't have it, people you're just falling behind faster. And people don't tell you that they don't like your service. They just leave your business and go somewhere else. And defection is what you're trying to avoid. And this is a big step to keep that customer aboard and keep them in your ranks.
Yep. Well, Dave and Ashleigh, congratulations to you on all that's ahead with Blink AI. We look forward to having you back on the roundtable and perhaps taking this up even a few more notches, sharing some best practices, what some of your dealers are doing, what some of the roundtable dealers are doing, Fixed Ops Magazine dealers are doing. And Dave, congratulations again to both of you.
All right. Thank you, both Ted and Ron. I really appreciate having us on today.
All right, Ashleigh, give us the call to action, NADA booth, and how do we find you there? And what do we do if we're not going to NADA? What's the best way?
Blinkai.com. You can contact us through the website. You can find me on LinkedIn always. We put Dave's email down there, blow him up. We don't mind.
All right. And it's NADA booth number 8945 in New Orleans later this week. Dave, will you be there as well?
I'll absolutely be there the entire show. So I'd love to visit with you guys, but anybody else that's listening, come by and see us. I'd love to get to know you.
All right, everybody. Blink is here. It's now. It's the name in technology and AI, and it's here for dealers and to make life a lot easier for our dealer audience. So congratulations again to Dave Perry, Ashleigh Norton from Blink, Ron Overs, the publisher of Fixed Ops Magazine. Thank you all for being with us and look forward to great things ahead in 2025.
Thank you, Ted. See you soon.
Thank you.